don't know if any other mini riders ever did it, if they ever went straight from 80 expert into 125 pro. I know a lot of guys would always go into the amateur ranks and go to Loretta's and do that kind of stuff. I went straight into Supercross. I didn't have any, warm-up stuff. They fed me right to the lions. So my first year, God, I won Anaheim. That was my second big pro race ever. And I won Anaheim, at 16. So, I won Anaheim, I won Seattle. I think I won a night in Houston or something. I won a few. Oh yeah, I thought my shit didn't stink. Fuck. I was making money, I was winning races, 16 years old. Just graduated high school, I had my own truck. Yeah, I thought my shit didn't stink. I thought I was cool. Learned the hard way. The first meeting was at Suzuki in Brea. They brought me in and talked to me and stuff, and I honestly, I didn't think they were serious. I thought they were fucking around with me. Cut my hair, that's stupid. I'm winning races. And I got fired in '86 because of my haircut. I had a blue mohawk, and the Japanese didn't like it, and they told me to cut it, and I thought they were full of shit. I thought they were just joking. I was winning races, they can't be serious. And they were. They kept the bike in the truck and told me I was fired. My mechanic was sitting on the back on the bumper and waiting for me to show up. And he said, until you take your hat off, I can't unload a bike. And I still had my blue hair. So my bike never got unloaded. And he told me, I need to go talk to the team manager right now before they do anything. And when I went over and saw the team manager, he straight told me I was fired. You're done. Not riding a Suzuki this weekend. So it ended right then and there. I was like, all right, fuck you guys, this and that. I'll go borrow fucking a Honda or something. I'll go borrow a different bike and finish the weekend out. And he'd already gone through the pits and told everybody that, basically that I wasn't going to play by the rules, that I was, doing my thing and what I wanted to do. So he blackballed me. Basically had everybody turn against me as team managers before it even started. So I came home and started calling the teams and stuff, and literally, the only thing I could get a ride at was Kajiva. That's the only reason I rode Kajivas, because that was the only thing that somebody would give me. And, they just didn't have the money or the team for the next year to do Supercross and stuff. So I had bought a couple Suzukis because they had the highest paying contingency program for a privateer. So I bought a Suzuki and borrowed another Suzuki and drove to Gainesville and started the Nationals as a privateer. And that's when I went over to Europe. I had fun. Europe was good, except for the second year on the 250s when I rode Suzukis, and it just went backwards from there. That was pretty much my downfall. They basically paid me to make sure that Stefan wasn't fucked with. They paid a guy that could beat him to not get near him, so they could detune my bike and do whatever they wanted to my bike. So every time I got close to him, my bike got slower. Yeah. Yeah, the Japanese came over to Europe halfway through the season, couldn't understand how the year before on a KTM, I was the winningest rider on the track. And then I come to a big team, the factory Suzuki team and all that stuff the next year, where I should be the #1 rider and everything. I should be out there winning races. I was having trouble just qualifying. Well, they ended up putting my bike on a dyno, and it was something like 8-10 horsepower slower than a production bike. Yeah, it was crazy. It was slower than a 125 production bike. And that was a Works 250. And I won the second moto. I went wire to wire on the second moto on the Suzukis. That was that year, that my bad year over there on Suzukis. I came home and I went into pro circuit, and I was trying to get on pro circuit's supercross team, because AMA has a rule, or a law, whatever they call it, that after so many years, say 4 years, I think it is, you can come back, you can drop a class. If you're a 250 rider and you haven't raced AMA for 4 years, you can actually come back and ride the lights class. And so I had been over in Europe for so long, I came back and me and Mitch talked about it and said, well, fuck, I should be able to go down to the 125 class, you know? So we got a hold of AMA, and as it went, I'm the only rider in history that couldn't drop a class. Mike Brown did it, Bobby Moore did it, everybody did it but me. They wouldn't allow me to do it. Because I'm me. And actually halfway through my first season in '85, they tried actually kicking me out of the 125 class, because I had already hit the points limit. I had already peaked out on points, and so they tried bumping me up to the 250 class when I was 16 years old. You know, they're like, no, you know, he's already hit, you know, a certain number, say the number was 200 or whatever, he's already hit 200 points. You know, well, just because I won so many races or whatever doesn't mean that I should be up in the pro class already. You know, I'm pro-am. You know, so yeah, it was crazy. So, I mean, we had a lawsuit against AMA and all that stuff, and that was just crazy. But ever since that day, it's always been a fight with AMA. So. My mechanic from Belgium ended up inviting me back to come back and do one more year on the 500s for KTM. And since it was that mechanic and that team kind of deal and stuff, and back where it was, like it was in '91, the only thing we had changed was the size of bikes, I came back and to try it, you know, and did really good the first round and everything. And we went, after the race was over and all that, we went testing in Italy and had a big crash and was announced dead on the track. Crashed and shattered my ribs and shredded my lungs and internally bled to death on the track. Yeah, somewhere between leaving the track and the hospital, I sat up and coughed up a big blood clot and came to and induced me into a coma and into surgery, and yeah. I walked out of there, I actually pulled the tubes out of my chest and my sides myself. Walked out of there after 7 days after surgery. On the 8th or 9th day, I flew home, saw my specialist. Literally within 14 to 15 days, I was back on the bike. From being announced dead, I was back on the bike for the next round. And I qualified with the pole position and all that stuff, the fastest time. And the first moto, I came out of the first turn second behind Joel Smets and got hit by a rock by that big right dead square in the chest. And I thought I was dying. I rolled to a stop and fell over crying like a little girl. I thought I was dead again. And my mechanic came over and cussed me out and called me every name in the book and told me what a piece of shit I was because I was hurting and crying. And so I didn't say anything. I just basically got up and went back to the truck. And you know, when we went back to Belgium, I packed a bag and made a flight without telling anybody and flew home the next morning. Never looked back, never went back. Nobody gave a shit about me, so I'm going home. So. Basically, when I was doing the schools and stuff, I let my conditioning go and all that, you know, basically because I wasn't riding. I was paying more attention to the schools. And that's when I started realizing how bad I was hurt. You know, my body was beat up and broken, you know, and just having more metal in my body than I have bones and things like that, and just dealing with it. And just meeting people out there and, you know, hey, you know, take a couple Vicodin and you'll feel better. You know, and that's where it started. You know, a couple Vicodin here, a couple Vicodin there, and it all just unwound from there. I mean, it started with the whole realm of pills. There was the Vicodins, the Norcos, the Lortabs, the Percocets. You know, it went down the whole thing. And then, you know, the pills just get too expensive. You know, it's definitely, pills are a rich man's kind of pleasure. I mean, I was up to maybe 500, 1,000 pills a week that I was taking, you know, and when you add that up, when you're buying those by the bottle, I mean, that's $2,500 a bottle. So I was going through 2 of those bottles, so that's, you know, $5,000 a week in cash that I was blowing on pills. That's crazy, that's stupid. And when you run out of money and stuff like that, then the next best thing is heroin. If you're into that scene, if you're into the pills and the downers and the painkillers, you know, it turns right to heroin. And that's where it went. It got real bad. I mean, there was times that I was sitting in my truck with a sawed-off shotgun under my front seat, waiting for a connect to show up, you know, at 3 in the morning in Santa Ana, just wondering if I'm going to shoot somebody or somebody's going to shoot me. You know, it was bad. I was in a really bad place, you know, and it just sucked. Can't quit if you're not ready to quit, you know. And at that time in my life, I wasn't ready to quit, you know. I lost everything because of it. You know, I lost my family, you know, I lost my career, my job, everything. I lost it all. But my mom was telling me that when my ex-wife would come to her and rat me out, oh, your son's slamming heroin, you know, this and that. My mom was actually going to hire some guys to come and kidnap me. She was telling me this, that they were going to try to grab me and stuff and take me into a detox and all that stuff. That point in my life, there probably would have been a couple dead people because I wasn't ready to quit. You're not going to make an addict quit. You can't. When an addict's ready to quit, he'll quit. You know, he has to find his bottom. He has to, you know when he's ready to quit. Otherwise, it'll never happen. And it all had to do with just trying to get my body to feel better. You know, and it all starts with the doctors. You know, the doctors are handing you everything you want, you know, because you're an athlete, you're a professional. They don't tell you that those things are, you know, addictive and that Vicodin, they don't tell you that it's a drug. You know, they tell you it's a painkiller. You don't think it's a drug, you know? It's something that helps you. It's supposed to make you feel better. You know, you take 1 today, well, you're gonna want 2 tomorrow. You know, and me being a sports athlete and having an addictive personality, well, fuck, if 2's good, I want 4. You know, 4 work today, I want 8 tomorrow. Just the way I am. You know, and it just went downhill real quick. Real quick. That's what people don't understand. When you get so deep into a heroin addiction or a pill addiction or whatever, I was a different person. I mean, I'm not a thief. I tried to steal a purse. Obviously, I'm not a very good thief. I didn't get away with it. You know, I mean, literally, I did everything but fucking like ask the lady, please give me your purse. I mean, I did. I tried to steal a purse. I'm the piece of shit. Yeah, that's me. I'm the piece of shit that tried to do it. And I'm the one that paid the dues, and I got caught. And, you know, I mean, literally, the lady felt so bad for me because she knew that I was so deep in my addiction that she didn't even press charges. The DA picked it up and pressed charges on me. You know, that's how quick they caught me. I mean, they caught me right away. I was busted. But like, you knew me before my addiction. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a mean, crazy, out of control person. And that's where these drugs took me. I mean, I don't carry a gun. I don't want to kill people. I don't do that. That's not who I am. But that's what it took me to do. It takes you down the wrong road really far. It's really bad, and fuck, people don't understand that. People just think, okay, you take a couple pills or you do some heroin, this and that. Monday comes and you go on and live your life. No, this thing, it grabs a hold of your soul and just takes you down. And people don't understand that unless you've been there and done it and know what it's like to just look the devil in the eyes straight on and just don't know how to get away from it. It's tough. It's really fucking hard. See, I did 2 years, maybe just a little over 2 years, fighting my case the first time. And I ended up going to Delancey Street and doing 2 years in a program instead of going to prison. Did that, got out and I violated. And they put me back in jail for another 2.5 years while they're deciding what they're going to do with me. Allegedly, they said a dirty test. They said that I did a dirty test on meth, and I don't fuck around with meth. It's not my thing. So I was eating Starburst and my PO had it out for me, and she would swab my mouth and it'd always come out yellow or blue or something. So every time that happened, she would violate me. And finally the judge just said, "Healey, we're tired of seeing you." So they held me in there for 2.5 years, just because allegedly I had a dirty test. They still to this day can't prove that it was dirty. Finally the DA told the judge, like, he's here on an alleged violation. His max is 180 days. He's been here 2.5 years. This is wrong, this isn't right, this is inhumane. So the judge ended up making me a deal and he dropped all the charges and everything except for a kidnapping. And he goes, "We have to send you to prison so you come out on parole." And I went and did, 9 months or whatever in prison and came out on parole. And when I came out on parole and all that stuff, I was supposed to be on high control parole for 3 years. And I discharged my number and got off parole in 2 years, just for being good, just doing everything the right way, the way I'm supposed to. That when I came out of prison, all that stuff, that's when it hit me and I was just like, I'm done. There's no more fucking around, there's no more playing. I can't even play. I can't have a beer, I can't do anything. I can't do it because it all leads to something else. And no matter what, I'm gonna get in trouble for something. So at that time, that's when I came out on parole, I just went straight as can be. The only thing I don't do is go to church. So, I'm about as straight as they come. The only thing that goes on in life now that's hard is, coping with realities of life, not being a superstar anymore. I was put on a pedestal and I had all the money and girls and cars and this and that. And I went to the stereo shop and dropped $45,000 into a car stereo. Who does that? That's just the life I was living. And when you can't live that life, what are you gonna do? What do you turn to? Who do you go to? I would be lying if I didn't say there was a million times that I thought of ending my life. And I think the only reason I haven't is because of my kid and my mom. They're still here by my side. They don't look at me as being a drug addict. They don't look at me as, somebody that made mistakes or anything. I'm dad, I'm their son, and I'm doing everything I can do to get back on my feet and make my life better, and trying to be the gentleman that my mom raised me to be and the dad that my daughter wants. And that's where I've opened up to doctors and put my trust into doctors and talk to doctors now, where before I thought I was too cool. And so that's what I do. If I feel low or down, I go talk to somebody. That's what I've learned. When I was inside, she got her cosmetology license and all that, and just kind of told me that it was something that would be really fun for me to do and all this stuff, and it would be cool, and maybe down the road me and her could have a shop together and all that stuff. And just through her, that's my kid, that's my best friend. So anything I can do in this world to make us closer, and literally that is probably the one thing that brought tears to my eyes. I was like, wow, you want to work with your old man? The piece of shit right here, you want to work with me? And she's like, yeah, of course, you're my dad, I'd love to. And that is like, I know what I'm doing. I'm cool. And I honestly, when I started it, I didn't realize I'd have so much fun cutting hair. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. I really, honestly, crossed my heart, I love cutting hair. It's a blast. So I'm cool. I'm good with what I'm doing. I've come a long ways. I'm not where I was. I'm not on top like I was, but I'm not in the gutter. I'm not homeless. I've got 2 businesses that keep me active and keep me out of trouble and keep me busy. I got a mom and daughter that love me, and I now really know who my friends are, and I know who they're not. So yeah, I think she's good with me. I see her all the time. She doesn't live far away, and we talk all the time. So I think she's cool with me. I'm good, and I'm cool. Just these kids need to just ask for help. People just need to ask for help. They can't be afraid. That's all. It's a different world now. You don't have to be a tough guy. You don't have to be the big tough guy. If you have a problem, you think you're going down the wrong road, just ask for help. That's all. It's real easy.